Good afternoon, YouTube. It is currently 12:45 p.m. Wednesday, September 14th, and I'm coming at you from McGehee, Arkansas. It's in Desha County. I'm currently driving southbound on U.S. Highway 65, and I just left the Loves about 45 minutes ago in Pine Bluff, Arkansas. Actually headed down to Jackson, Mississippi with a load of utility poles. And I have about 145 miles to go. However, I'm going to stop short. I'm going to stop here in about, I don't know, 50 to 100 miles, just because I can't deliver them today. I got to wait till tomorrow. And so I'm not going to try and go all the way to Jackson because they're having issues with water in Jackson. Apparently it's really bad. Like, I saw a video where there was like brown water coming out of somebody's faucet, and it's just crazy. I mean, to be honest with you, there's no freaking reason for that. I mean, it just, people have failed that city for that kind of stuff to happen. You know, and I don't know at what level either. I don't know if it's the city leaders, I don't know if it's the state leaders or what, but that crap never should happen. And to be honest with you, I think it should be a national type emergency, and America needs to do what America needs to do to fix Jackson's water problem. You know, same way when they had some water issues up in Michigan, Flint, Michigan. Not sure if it's the same kind of issues, but man, that crap is just there's no reason for that to happen. Failure happened somewhere, and somebody needs to answer to it. But anyway, that's why I'm not going all the way to Jackson. So I'm going to stop here. I'll be stopping pretty early. But anyway, so for those that don't know me, I am a retired cop that just started truck driving about a year ago, and I kind of like to tell stories about some of the things I did as a cop. And I also talk about some of the current events that are cop related. I did a video on the Breonna Taylor search warrant, and I talked about cops getting things wrong and just stuff like that. But anyway, you guys should check out those videos. I think they're pretty entertaining. But today I think I want to talk to you about a guy who got off on two pretty big cases that I was involved in. The first case was a possession with intent to sell crack cocaine, and a weapons case. Basically, my partner and I were following each other around. I call him my partner, but we had separate cars, and when we were in patrol together, and we patrolled neighboring territories. So what we would do is, like, one night, we would drive around my neighbor, like he would follow me around my territory. We'd stop cars, answer radio calls, conduct suspicious persons stops, suspicious car stops, things like that. And then the next night we did the same thing in his territory. And our territories were very, very busy. It was high activity, lots of drugs, lots of illegal stuff going on around the neighborhood. Like our neighborhood, that's where most of the crack houses were. Like that. I could, honestly, at one point I could take you to some of the best crack houses in our city, but just because I know where they're at and know what they're doing doesn't mean I can go kick their door. But anyway, so we got flagged down by a girl one night, and this actually happens quite often, more than you would actually think. We got flagged down by a girl one night that asked us to go check the welfare of her friend. Her friend was involved in a domestic situation with her boyfriend, and she had just left their house, and she said it was getting pretty heated. and she wanted us to go check her welfare. So typically what we would do in a domestic type situation, and really there's cops that do this all the time no matter what kind of a call they go to, we'll turn off our lights before we even get on the block that the house is on, and then park about a half a block away and walk in. We do that so we retain the tactical advantage and also for officer safety. There have been instances across the country a few times where officers were ambushed during a domestic, or ambushed because somebody basically called the cop, called in a police call, and when the police get there, they ambush them with and try and kill them. So, that kind of officer safety has been taking place in my department for a very long time because that's the way I was taught. And so anyway, so as we're approaching the house, we also do something that's pretty common. We're going to pay attention to what we hear, what we see, and as we're approaching the house, we hear the domestic going on, and it's pretty heated, and we see that there's a window open. It was a nice night, and there was a window open. It was on the corner of the house, right at the front of the house. So we walk up to the window, just to kind of get a lay of what's going on inside. How bad is it? Does anybody have any weapons? Things like that. It's officer safety and to retain the tactical advantage. Well, on the couch is a guy packaging up a significant amount of crack cocaine. And he's so tired of the arguing that he tells the couple, y'all shut up and I'll give each of you a piece. I believe what he meant was he would bust up one of his $20 pieces of crack cocaine and give each of them half of it. Well, about that time, the male half walks through the house and out the back door, and he comes to the side of the house that we're on to take a piss. Excuse me. And so we're like making ourselves small behind this tree, and my guess is he came outside because he doesn't have plumbing. Pretty common in that neighborhood. So he sees us and he starts alerting the people inside about our presence. He starts saying, "Hey, police, why are you here? Hey, the cops are here." Just really loudly and kind of briskly walking back towards the back door. So we, at that point, we have extra circumstances because we're in a place where we can legally be, and we witness this act of crime going on of packaging up crack cocaine. And since he is alerting the people inside, there's reason to believe that evidence can be hidden or destroyed, or the person with the crack cocaine could flee. So we handcuff that guy real quick, push him off to the side, and we go handcuff up the guy that was packaging up the cocaine. And sure enough, he had a handgun underneath his leg or underneath a pillow that he was sitting by or sitting on or something. So we ended up arresting him for possession of controlled substance with the intent to distribute, and we also probably arrested him for some kind of a weapons violation for being in possession of the weapon, being in possession of a handgun while being in possession of crack cocaine. So we get his drugs, and like I said, it was I forget how much it was, but it was a significant amount. It was several $100s worth of cocaine. So we complete all our paperwork, make the arrest and everything, and send it up to the DA's office, and the DA's office decides they don't want to prosecute. The reason they did not want to prosecute was they said they didn't think we had a right to be at the window, as we were, even though it was clearly for officer safety and to retain the tactical advantage. Like I said, it wasn't, we just didn't pick a house out of the blue and go up and start peeking in the windows to see if there's something we could do. That kind of stuff, yes. You can't do that as a cop. You know, if you want to conduct a knock and talk for, let's say you have a suspected drug house, you got to go up and knock. And, you know, hey, can I come in and do all that stuff? Well, for the domestic type stuff, and what we were there for is, honestly, it's worlds different. And I think that and to this day, I still think that we were okay. And I think under this administration, under the current DA, that this would get prosecuted. But anyway, so that guy ends up getting off on that one. Well, I don't know, some months later, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months later or whatever, I get a call about an armed robbery. It happened at a convenience store in the neighborhoods that we patrol, which, you know, very, very busy. But this convenience store it wasn't a nice one, so it wasn't very busy. But in any case, the only person inside when I got robbed was the 2 suspects and the clerk. One of the suspects was wearing a mask and went unidentified for the entire thing, I believe, for the entire investigation. But the other guy was not wearing a mask. And he's the one that had a handgun. They went in, the guy with the gun held the clerk at gunpoint while the other guy, stole a bunch of cartons of cigarettes, and then they also stole the money. I don't remember if they made the clerk open the drawer and they took the money out, or if they made the clerk give them the money or something. But in any case, they robbed this convenience store of money and cigarettes. Well, I recognized the guy, but I didn't remember his name because that's just kind of who I am. Like I can remember people's faces and say I've had dealings with this person before, but I don't remember who they are. My buddy, he remembers everybody's names. So I went to him and said, "Hey, who's this guy?" And he immediately said, "Hey, that's so and so. That's the guy that we have with the crack in the house with the open window." Oh, so we go looking for him, can't find him. And ultimately, the case gets filed, and they issue an arrest warrant for the guy. Well, he's picked up some weeks later, either Oklahoma or Texas. Don't remember which one, but in any case, he was picked up on a warrant and was brought back for prosecution. Well, once they started the court proceedings, the DA's office found out that the clerk is nowhere around. And the last that we believe is he went back to the country he was from. He was Middle Eastern, and it's pretty common for people to come and work in their families' businesses, whether it's legit or not, which, to be honest with you, I don't care. They had a job they needed to fill, and the guy was wanting to fill it. But anyway, I don't even know if it was legal or not. And like I said, I don't give 2 shits about that. But in any case, he fled the country, fled America, and went back to his own country. Probably because, he realized that it's dangerous and he just wanted to go back. So, since that happened, the DA's office had to drop the charges because they had nobody to authenticate the video. Because the only victim or witness inside was the clerk. And, an automatic defense for the suspect in that case could be, his attorney could give some story about how it was just a misdemeanor theft because the clerk was in on it and they wanted it to make it look like a robbery so the clerk wouldn't get in trouble, and honestly, that would probably be the defense. As dumb as it sounds, yeah, that would probably be the defense. So the DA's office basically had no choice but to not charge the guy, and the guy was looking at some pretty significant time. I bet for the crack, if he would have been convicted of that, I bet he would have got 2 or 3 or 4 years. And then for the robbery, he could have gotten probably good 5 to 10 years at least. And also, if they would have charged him for the crack, maybe he would have been on the streets, maybe he wouldn't, because he would have the opportunity to post a bond. So, so there kind of goes the thought that, had they filed the crack, he wouldn't have been able to do the robbery. Possibly, but not 100% accurate, because he could still have been out on bond and committed the robbery. But in any case, just kind of rambled there for a second. Neither case got filed. And to be honest with you, I think that the average citizen would be amazed of the shit that people get away with. Like, either victims or witnesses recant, or cases fall apart for X, Y, and Z reasons. They say that they thought we were they didn't think that we had a right to be at the window. That kind of stuff happens quite a bit, to be honest with you. And like I said, had we gone to the window to basically see what we could see without, like if we were just basically being peeping toms to kind of peek in a window to see if we can build a case on somebody. Yeah, like I said, that's an issue, but that is not what we were doing. And to be honest with you, that case was solid. The robbery, on the other hand, I'm a little bit more understanding of it, because I know that the clerk needs to be there to corroborate or authenticate the video and also what happened on video. So it just kind of stinks all around. But that guy ended up getting his, though. I think he ended up going to prison for a shooting, I believe. And I want to say he got a pretty significant amount of time. So he did get his. I'm about to pass through Lake Village, Arkansas. I like it down here. There's up here on the left. It's on the left now, but you can't see it because it's about quarter mile away or so. Nice big lake that a lot of people live on, and it would definitely be a place that I'd like to have a house on if I wanted to live on a lake, because it's pretty nice down here. But anyway, that's my story for today. If you guys like the videos, like it. If you want to subscribe, hit that subscribe button. I'm going to try and put out more content. I actually have a couple more videos that I have not uploaded yet that I need to. I'll probably try to go through my videos next time I'm home and upload them when I'm at home, just because it does take a lot less time when I'm hooked to my Wi-Fi at home versus being out here on the road. But anyway, until next time, y'all have a good day.